Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the British Beaufighter Mk VIc at 3.0 battle rating in the British line. This is one of those epic planes that has been in the game for a long time, and this plane, I don't know why, it really gives me that historic feeling of I'm flying in Her Royal Majesty's Beaufighter Mk VI and such and so on, and I am Sir such and such with so many kills, and I'm getting a really historic feeling in this plane for some reason. I don't know why. For Queen and Country, I get that feeling from this plane. Don't ask me why the Beaufighter has that. I don't get it from the Hurricanes, I don't get it from the Spitfires, but I do get it from the Beaufighter for some reason, and that is just awesome, I guess, that a plane can give you that feeling. A really historic role-playing like feeling almost, I have to say. This plane is lovely. It has great firepower. It is very comfortable in a support fighting role where it can come from the fringes and just unleash that firepower on planes that are busy, and yeah, you can wreak havoc that way, even if you are not coming from the fringes. If you are at some sort of altitude advantage, you can also have a lot of fun in this plane, lure people up and use the firepower in the vertical. Of course, when you are on equal energy, this plane is not going to do well in the vertical compared to most single engine fighters, because they are just better, most of them in that sense. But this plane has some options, and it is interesting to fly this plane, that is for sure. Now, before we get into the details, you know, of course, I do appreciate any support you can give this video. So if you enjoy the video, please don't forget to like it. The likes really make a difference. A comment is always appreciated. I like to engage with your comments. If you can share the video is great. If you are not subscribed yet, please do. It is very worthy to become a part of this community, worth your while. There's a lot of videos coming out, and a lot of the rank reviews will be coming up soon. Now, also, I want to ask you to join me on Rumble and on Locals. The links will be in the description box below. On these sites, I will have extra content waiting for you, and Rumble will be a sort of a backup channel, and Locals will be the hub where you can support me and where I will share more personalized content. Now, I just came out of the graveyard shift. I had 3 night shifts going on there, and I didn't quite update Locals yet. Rumble is ready to go, but Locals is not quite there yet. Just become a member there, or you know, the free thing, and just wait till I get everything set up, because I have not had a chance yet to go through that whole site and put all the options in place, so you can comment when you're not paying and all that stuff. So yeah, I'll look into that, and it will be done fairly shortly. But you do join me there already if you want to. Really appreciate it. Now, the Beaufighter, maximum speed at sea level without WEP is 445 kilometers an hour, with WEP 481. At 4,500 meters, she'll go up to 392 without WEP and 419 with. And finally, at 6,500 meters, she can take you to 343 without WEP and 375 with WEP. Now, this plane has quite the powerful WEP, especially at lower altitudes, but still quite decent on higher altitudes. There's not much of a drop there, and the maximum speeds are actually decent. Compared to the Hurricanes, this plane is quite a bit faster, for example. And of course, Hurricanes are known to be slow, but this plane, you would say by the looks of her that she would be equally slow, but no, she's actually quite a bit faster, which is good. Top speed in a dive in this plane is 642 kilometers an hour before she redlines, and 715 before she rips apart. That's alright. This is a big frame, and she will rip a little bit earlier than most lower rank single seat fighters, unfortunately. But these speeds are in indicated airspeed without Mech. Control stiffening starts at around 450 kilometers an hour for the aileron compression, Elevator stays functional up until the red line and is definitely capable of pulling out of a dive if you're not, switched over. If you have to roll at that point, you are in trouble, because at 600 kilometers an hour there is a second big tick in the aileron compression, and she really becomes a little bit of a brick by then. Stall speed in this plane is 105 kilometers an hour, which is actually decent. Firepower is very good. You have 4 20mm Hispano Mark 1s with 240 rounds per gun. Now that ammo load is excellent, is really nice for such early guns. 4 early 20mm and then 240 rounds per gun. That is absolutely fantastic. I mean, usually in the early planes you get 60 rounds, 90 rounds maybe, but this is 240 rounds per gun. This is great. The plane also has a turret, a 7.7mm Vickers K machine gun with 1000 rounds for the gun. And you can actually equip this plane with some ordnance. And what is it? Yes, you want to guess it? It's a torpedo, yes, a Mark 12 torpedo. That is very situational, the use of torpedoes. Of course, there is maps with water and with destroyers and stuff like that, which you can use a torpedo on. But most maps don't have the option to use the torpedo, so be careful where you equip it. And of course in naval, that gives this plane actually a good role in naval, because it has that torpedo, so you can definitely use it there. I don't know what you want to do in naval though, but there is some people that are enjoying ships in War Thunder, so amen. I mean, this is one of the planes you can bring, and you actually have a torpedo at your disposal, which is good. Now, the acceleration in this plane is average, both in a straight line and in a dive. It is a plane with 2 engines and stuff like that. It has quite a bit of horsepower, but it also has quite a bit of drag, so that kind of equals each other out. The energy retention in the horizontal is average, and in the vertical it is above average even. It feels decent in the vertical for some reason, maybe because the web is so good. Let me say that is with web usage. She can hold her own for a little bit, at least in the vertical, and of course that will be difficult against 109 or something, but there is planes that are less good than a 109 in the vertical, and then with web you have a shot, especially if you carefully guard your energy advantage. That's what you do have to do in this plane. Now the climb rate is decent in this plane. It's not great, but it's alright. Turn time in the plane is average, above average with flaps. The flaps rip off at around 430-ish kilometers an hour. So that is alright, I would say, for a plane at this battle rating with the speeds it has. You can use the flaps usually quite often, and when you have them deployed it is difficult to get above 430 anyway, so that is good. The roll rate is below average to start off with, so it's not one of its strengths. Overall maneuverability is only average, unfortunately, especially compared to some of the better fighters at this battle rating. You do have overheating in the Beaufighter. It is definitely present with extended web usage, but I feel it's quite easily manageable because it does cool off quite easily, and thus you almost never run into the point where you overheat any of these engines. Durability is good. It can soak a lot of damage. It has 2 engines. You can lose an engine and still get yourself home. It also does handle the damage well in the flight model. It is susceptible to deaths in a head-on though, even though there is some armor protection, and it has decent survivability when it comes to that. In the front you're sitting there wide open with your pilot in a big glass dome, and you can definitely lose the pilot in a pilot snipe head-on situation. On the other hand, you also have 420mm, so if you get used to the aim, she can also be quite powerful with those guns, and she does have an armor plate in the forward facing glass. So I mean, it's touch and go. I mean, I lost my life a few times in head-ons in this thing. So yeah, maybe not take them. Although if you have to maneuver after passing each other, it is also again one of these things I leave the decision to you what you want to do with this plane. I usually do take the head-ons, but it is not without danger. Let's keep it at that. Repair cost is 2,150 Silver Lions, which is good. Is way above the average. The rewards, you have a 236% modifier on the research points and a 135% modifier on the Silver Lion booster. The repair cost booster is above average, and the Silver Lion booster is decent. So the rewards you get in this plane are actually on the plus side, above average, both of them. And that is nice, because the Beaufighter can net you results. And like I said, this is not one of the planes you want to be the focal point in. You cannot really energy fight in this plane. You cannot really turn fight in this plane. And you cannot really boom and zoom in this plane. It is a plane that can do everything only a little bit. I mean, it will lose energy fighting against most fighters. It cannot boom and zoom very well. Turn fighting is not great, but it has good guns, and coming from the sides as a support fighter, this plane can definitely fill a role. Now this is the sheet for the 4-kill match. Best squad, Terror of the Sky, bulletproof, on hand, 24,000 Silver Lions and 5,000 research points. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. This Beaufighter, man, it is an interesting plane, that is for sure. It is one of those historic planes that I really like to fly in, and although it's not the best at anything, it is interesting to fly this plane. It just gives you such a historic feeling, at least it does for me, the Beaufighter. And she has great guns. She has some options there with coming from altitude, trying to wait it out a little bit, and then, you know, working your way, helping your teammates. This can be really rewarding in this plane. Flying in a squad as one of those people that comes from the side and let your guys go in, and then you coming after them to help them out is an ideal role for this plane. But again, you can even do this without teammates, without a squad, because it is very possible to just wait, let the furball develop, and then coming in from the sides and using the Beaufighter to its fullest extent. And yeah, she plays a role in naval battles because she has that torpedo, so it definitely has a role there, gives it a little bit more versatility. No bombs though, no rockets, so it's really not a plane for ground RB. But for the rest, the Beaufighter has an endearing place in my heart, and I can definitely recommend you to try her out. It's fun. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.